guys! Welcome back. If you are new, hello, nice to meet you. So today's video is going to be a bullet journal video. I'm actually moving into a brand new bullet journal. I'm very excited for it. It looks great. I'm very proud of it. So I hope you guys enjoy. And let's just get into it. I'm moving into this Archer & Olive. It's an A5 Archer & Olive notebook. This is my first time using Archer & Olive. Before, I was using a journal from Flying Tiger. It was also A5. So I'm interested to see the difference. The paper quality, I have noticed already, is much better in the Archer & Olive. Looking forward to seeing what else is better. Cool, so I'm starting off with my key page. I've been bullet journaling for just over a year now, and I pretty much know my key, but I wanted to clear some things up. I added a couple of things, so I figured it would be best just to write it down somewhere, so at least I have it. So I'm starting up this cover page. So since I'm starting this within 2020, I wanted a new cover page, but I wanted it to be something a little smaller than my old one, and I wanted to make it simple. So I've been playing around with calligraphy over the past few months, and I kind of wanted to do something to incorporate that. So I got some craft paper, and you can see my washi tapes just there. So yeah, I just wrote on the craft paper round 2, and yeah, just stuck it down and decorated it with some washi tape. Next is my future log. I quite like separating my future planning by year, so I only really wanted the last 4 months of the year for this future log. So yeah, so I've just put enough for this year, even though I know I'll be using this journal after the year ends in 2021. And yeah, since I had a spare spot at the bottom, I decided to add a little section for looking ahead, so for any events in the future that I have. And then I have just written future log at the top in calligraphy. So this is my goals page. I had a fairly intensive goals page for 2020, and I decided to kind of condense it down a bit. So instead I just have 3 sections. It's personal, education, and professional. And I'll fill it in as it goes on. But this is just to kind of condense it down. I'm not sure if I'm just going to use these for just the last few months of the year, or if this is going to continue on. But we'll see. And then next to it I have my wish list, which basically I wanted a spread to note down things that I wanted but might not necessarily be able to get straight away, so that I could, make a note of them, and when I come into money, or if I want to treat myself with something, I can look at that first before I just splurge on something. So, right here I'm doing my health tracker. I had a period tracker in my old journal, which worked really, really well. And I actually am going to continue that, even though I'm not using that journal anymore, just so I have it all in kind of one space. But I did decide to kind of condense it down a bit. So I have a kind of mini version of that, which is for general health. So it includes my periods, but it will also include things like, how many times I feel sick, how many times I have a headache, acne, all that kind of stuff. I think it's good just to track these kind of things, especially in this climate. So yeah, it's just a little box grid, and I didn't do it here, but at the end I kind of assigned each one of those spots a dot. So for each day, if I have one of those things, I'll just put a dot so then I can look and go, oh, I had a headache and a temperature today. Cool. Next is my self-care spread. So I actually I decided to move over my self-care spread from my old journal. It was originally attached to my anxiety spread, so I had one side that was about anxiety, about my symptoms, what triggers and all that kind of stuff, and then I had a self-care chart. And I decided to move over the self-care into this one because I think self-care is really important. I've become really good at noticing when I'm experiencing anxiety, but the kind of self-care side of it is still something that sometimes I'm not so good at. So I think it's good just to remind yourself. So next is my books to read and shows to watch. Pretty self-explanatory. I used to have a bigger books to read spread, and I just couldn't fill it. I couldn't fill it all. It just felt so gappy. So I decided to do half of one side books to read, and then I decided to add in the shows to watch as well. So I know that in the year 2020, a travel log probably isn't the best idea, but I am trying to be optimistic. It's going to include kind of day trips that I've taken as well, so I should be able to get a lot of use out of it, and I think it's just good to make a note of things like this, so when I look back on this journal in future years, I can go, oh, this was the year that I went to this place, or whatever. So my next spread is my doodle practice spread, which seems fairly self-explanatory. Sometimes I just want to kind of practice my doodles, and particularly on the paper that I'm using for my journal. So I have a double spread that I can just kind of doodle in, practice things, can practice my handwriting as well. So it's kind of multi-purpose, so I quite like it. Next up, we have my creative ideas spread. So I've been doing quite a lot of kind of creative activities. Obviously, I've started up YouTube again, but I've also been practicing music, I've been doing more writing, I started painting. So this is kind of just a spread of things that I can jot down if I have any ideas of anything that I want to create. I can just make a note of it, and I decided to add just a little envelope just in case I had any kind of physical things that I wanted to include in here. Anything that kind of gave me inspiration, I could just slip it in the envelope and it's all there. So next up is my plant care spread. So I have 3 houseplants, a peace lily, an ivy and an aloe vera, and I'm getting a little tired of constantly having to Google, what's up with this? How often should I water this? So I figured it would be probably best to do a spread that is just kind of all the kind of tips and tricks on how to care for my plants. Additionally, I wrote down for each section, as you can see, when it was last repotted and when it was last fertilised, so that I can keep track of that. I don't have to flip through the months to go, when did I last fertilise this one? Or I've got it all on one page, so I just need to check this page and then I can go, right, it hasn't been fertilised in 3 months, it's probably due for fertilisation. So my final spread is my memories spread, which is fairly self-explanatory. I quite like having the openness where I can basically just create a collage of the things that have happened, whether that's ticket stubs or pictures or even just kind of like doodles that I've done to represent things that have happened. So I quite like having it as blank as possibly can be, and then I just decorated it with some washi tape in the corner. So here is my final flip through. I really quite like the way that it came out. I'm really looking forward to actually using it, so yeah. So that is my bullet journal spread. Thank you for watching. If you want more, let me know. Let me know what your theme is for the next few months. If you like this video, subscribe. I would enjoy that. And I suppose I'll see you in the next video. Bye.